A new year is a fresh start and a chance to do things a little bit differently. This year, I'll be making the most of the supplies that I already have and learning from those big buying mistakes I've made in the past. There are so many things in this space that I'd buy over and over again. And yet, there are some things I regret. Wow, regret. That's harsh. Okay, let's say that I'm not in a rush to buy them again. In today's video, let's chat about the supplies I will not be buying in 2025. Yes, I have bought them in the past, and maybe you have too. But this year, I will definitely not be buying them. As I list them out, I'd love to know, how many of these are you skipping this year? Let me know in the comments. First things first, seasonal supplies, especially Christmas ones. Now, I know that I love Christmas, but the reality is there's only so many Christmas projects any girl can make. In the past, I've bought way too many Christmas supplies. Way too many. I really don't need to buy any more. If you do though, be sure to stick to classic icons and styles. That way you can use the collections year after year. I've found that the icons and motifs on seasonal supplies don't change too much from year to year if you're clever and stick to classic designs. But this idea isn't just for Christmas supplies, it applies to all seasonal products. Think spring, fall, or Valentine's. If you're going to buy products in these themes, it's important to stick to classic color schemes, styles, and icons. Also, if you're building a stash of seasonal supplies, never, ever, ever buy them at full price. You can get great deals on seasonal items if you buy them at the right time of the year. Generally speaking, the time to buy things is right after the event. So for example, Christmas styles are often on sale in the days right after Christmas. Now, I know this video is about what I'm not buying in 2025, but do you know what I will be spending my creative budget on? This year, I've made the decision to learn, grow, and nurture my creativity. And I'll be doing that with the help of Skillshare, the sponsors of today's video. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives. They have thousands of classes, all led by industry experts in so many different categories, including photography, graphic design, cooking, music, and more. Skillshare can help you take your passions and interests to the next level. They have thousands of classes in countless categories, all ranging from beginner to advanced, designed by creatives for creatives. I've always wanted to learn how to make papercraft flowers, so top of my class list is this one by Emily Paluska. She's a botanical artist, and I can't wait to discover how I can create flower bouquets just like hers. The thing with Skillshare is they don't just have classes for DIYers and crafters. You can learn new software and develop new skills in a range of categories. I'm looking to do this class, Notion for YouTube creators, to help me better plan and manage content for this channel. There really is something for everyone. So if you're looking to expand your creative passions, no matter what they are, I've got a special deal for you. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So why not get started today? To learn more, check the description box below. Thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and thanks to you for supporting me when I have sponsored content. In the past, I've always bought the full set. If there was a scrapbook collection I loved, I always bought all of it. Every pattern paper and every embellishment. Not anymore. I've learned that it's totally okay to pick and choose your favorite elements from a collection. This year, I'm not buying the complete set of anything, and neither should you. Simply pick and choose the pieces of a collection that you love and just buy those. Turns out, the whole idea of having a complete collection or full set it's just a marketing ploy to get you to buy more. So if polar bears, zebras, or gnomes aren't your thing, skip them. I think some manufacturers do a much better job of this than others. My favourites, Pink Fresh Studio, Simple Stories, and Cocoa Vanilla Studios. They all have collections that aren't huge but still offer a good mix of supplies. Okay, so we all know I'm not a mixed media gal, so this year I won't be buying any more mixed media supplies. I have so much here already, especially given just how much, or how little, of these products I actually use. I'm also not falling for that full set trick that I just mentioned, because there is no way that I'm ever going to need 5 shades of brown. More specifically, I won't be buying any more inks. I already have the full set by Pink Fresh Studio, and that's enough ink that this creative gal will ever need. Next on my list are Silhouette tools and materials. I did very little creating last year, and of the projects I did make, many of them did not feature cut files. Don't worry though, I will be making more this year, but I've just not been going through these supplies quite like I used to. You know, the blades, the mats, and the cardstock. For a while there, I was pre-cutting a lot of cut files and sending them on out to you. And when that was happening, it was important that I had backups of blades and mats and all the things to ship those orders. Well, that's all stopped now, and I still have plenty of those supplies, so I won't be needing to buy any more of them in 2025. Even if you are doing a lot of cutting in your electronic cutting machine, those kind of supplies do last and last, so you don't need that many of them. Oh, and if you are looking for cut files, I do have a bunch of designs in my store in all kinds of themes. I'll be sure to leave a link in the description box below. Next on my list are masculine themed supplies. I've been sorting through my pages of late, organizing and reviewing all of the pages that I have done. And it's been a lot. It's a lot, but not that many that are masculine themed pages. Reality is I much prefer creating with pretty supplies, and I have done so many more pages featuring my daughter than my husband. Many years ago, I was blessed to be on the Cocoa Vanilla Studios design team, and as such, I was gifted many collections, some of which were very masculine themed. I have used these products almost exclusively to document my husband and our boy cat. I love creating with them and I find them really easy to use. And I still have a bunch left. So until I use up that stash, I don't see any reason why I need to buy any more. Take a look at your completed projects and you'll see that there's a pattern of similar styles, themes, and colors. You'll find there's products that you naturally just want to create with. Make sure that the supplies that you're bringing into your craft space are consistent with those, and you'll be far more likely to use them. Have you ever tried to save money by buying from those big discount stores like Temu or Shein? I have, and I've found that it's not always worth it. For me, it's felt a bit like a lucky dip. Some things are great quality and a good deal, and others just aren't. But that's not the big issue that I have with these kinds of stores. Initially, I did not realize, but they are full of dupes and knockoffs. I'm not okay with that. The damage these stolen designs do to our very fragile craft industry is huge. And I don't want to be part of that. I don't want there to be any stolen designs in any of the products I have in my space, no matter how cheap they are. Unfortunately, stolen designs on sites like these are all too common and in some cases can be hard to spot. So for me, it's just not worth the risk. Absolutely, I've bought things from these stores before and they've even sponsored videos on the channel. But you know what? You learn and you grow, and once you know better, you can do better. You can still save money on your supplies if you time when you buy them. Look out for sales and of course buy those seasonal supplies at the right time of year for the biggest discounts. Amazon's a great option for your crafting basics like double-sided tape, cardstock and tools. And if you want the best of the branded supplies, I recommend you go to an authorized reseller. I'll leave links to all of my favorite stores in the description box below. White cardstock is another thing that I had been buying in bulk that I've just not been using that much of. As I mentioned earlier, I haven't been cutting that many cut files out and also I haven't created pages that use up that white cardstock stash. I've been tending to choose more pattern papers instead. So based on the bulk purchases that I've made in the past, I've just not been using up that stash and I don't need to buy any more. The thing with buying anything in bulk is that you have to be sure that you're actually going to use it. Sure, it's cheaper to buy 500 pieces of white cardstock, but if it takes you a lifetime to use it, is it really worth it? Be careful if you're ever buying tape, glue, or paint in bulk because they can spoil or dry out before you ever get to use them. I used to use stickers on every single layout I created. And then I didn't. And then there was a while when I would collect them. I would just want to buy them, especially if they're on sale. The thing with stickers is that I never end up using them all. I noticed that once I used up those popular vowels, the E's, the I's, and the O's, then the rest of the stickers would just stay sitting there and I would never ever use them up. I've also made the mistake of buying multicolored stickers and that just makes things even harder. The fewer and fewer letters you end up with and the more colors on that sheet, the harder it is to actually create a word that you can use on a layout. So I would just keep buying more. And now I have sheets and sheets and sheets of thickers. If I pulled out every letter of every thicker sheet that I currently have, it would be a lot. Probably more than I could ever need in the rest of my lifetime. So no more thickers are getting added to my cart. Next up, multiples in general. In the past, whenever I found a product that was super extra cute, I would buy multiples. No idea why. I would always just think, I'll get an extra packet. I've also done this with things that are on sale. The bigger the markdown, the more necessary it's been to get a couple. Not anymore. I've found that those duplicate packs rarely get used for a couple of reasons. Either I'm tired of that embellishment because I've already gone through a whole packet, or I run out of supplies that coordinate with that embellishment. Those extra packets end up contributing to me having extra stash and an unbalanced supply of embellishments to papers. So this year, absolutely no duplicates, even if they're the cutest pink velvet bows. Well, maybe that could be an exception. The next thing I am not buying in 2025 are any products on a whim. So all impulse buying is out. I'm not sure when this changed, but there was a time when all of my supplies were always just bought on a whim. I would be browsing the internet and see a collection, or I would get an email from the store and I would make the selection of my supplies based on kind of what I came across. I didn't really think too much about what I would specifically be using the supplies for or how they would fit in with my current stash. Not anymore. Now I only buy supplies for a very specific project. I now look to the stash I already have and see if I can create the project using those supplies. If I am going to buy anything new, I'm always considering how those new supplies will fit in and coordinate with what I already have. 9 times out of 10, I also have a very specific project in mind for the supplies before I add them to my cart. I also use the wait and see approach. If I'm feeling particularly tempted by a collection, I will go and add all of it into my cart online, but then not check out. I wait a few days, maybe even a week, and if I'm still really in love with the supplies and really want them, That's when I check out. If you have trouble with this, try unsubscribing to the store newsletters so you just don't see them. And always shop your stash first. Check what you have in a similar look that you could recreate the project with. Remember not to fall for that full set syndrome. So if there are some key elements of a collection that you particularly love, just pick those. As crafters, we're always looking for the best ways to store our supplies. I've always said that organizing and storing craft supplies are a totally different hobby to actually creating with them. So this year, I won't be buying any craft specific storage items, but more budget-friendly generic pieces instead. I've tried lots of different crafty storage items, and I've learned that the craft store is not always the best place to buy these pieces. So this year, I won't be buying any more craft-specific storage items, but going with a more budget-friendly general item instead, like the ones I share in this video right here. So if you're looking for cheap organization that actually works, be sure to watch it next. Thank you so much for being here, my creative friends. I'll see you all again very soon. Until then, bye.